little walkthrough of some of what I find are some of the most fun and iconic remote control cars of the 70s. But they're not just remote control cars, they're actually geared to tackle an audience of children that collected action figures, primarily trying to cash in, if you will, on the Mego action figure kids, if you will, of the 1970s. So, a lot of the information I'm going to give you, I've collected from a lot of years, but some recent stuff came on the purchase of a couple of cars that just came in. And I'll try and pass that through to you. My Italian is good, but it's not as great as it used to be. So hopefully I'm going to explain this properly based on the information I got. Okay, so these cars, just to give you an idea, these cars are just about 2 feet long. I'm going to walk this around. They're made by a company called Fabian Plastica. Italiana, that's right. Made in Italy. The best. For those of you that don't know any better. I'm just kidding. So, there we go. Put a little light on there. So, they're made in Italy. They didn't necessarily go just DC Comics nor just Marvel. They actually did both. So, some of these cars show up. You'll see them from time to time. The most visible car that I see out there over the years. And I started collecting these back in the late 90s, I remember, and then got rid of them and then wound up starting to collect them again over the last couple of years. It's probably going to be the Superman car, maybe even the Batmobile. Oh, boy, here it is. Brian Sanchez. Lou the Looster, the Big Lubowski, Chef Lou D, the Incredible Lou. Too funny. That's funny. Brian Sanchez, the Sancheroni, Sanchomahini, Sancharuski, Sancharowski, the Sanchonsky, the Dollar Tree pickled sausage lover. This video is not for kids. If you have any kids, get out. All right, so anyway. So the most visible are the Superman car and the Batmobile. Now, the artwork's actually pretty cool, right? It's actually pretty cool. And a couple things to point out. You can see this is not your standard Batmobile, nor is it your standard Superman car, because Superman didn't really need one because he flew, right? This Batman image, I'm pretty sure that's no Neil Adams or anything like that. That this is probably, or possibly, I don't know, it's possibly an original design by the company. Somebody drew it. They did call it the Batmobile, which is great. Auto Radio Comandante, Automobile Radio Comandante. So it's in Italian and in French, and remote control car. You can see the Batmobile's kind of letting off some smoke. It's taken off. It's got the wheels. The interesting is they show these. They actually show the windshield. Most of these cars are missing the windshield. I think I have one or maybe two. Take a look a little bit at the side art. There's a price sticker on here. Batmobile, kind of the Batman logo. It's got the stickers and so on. As you look through these, you're going to see the Batmobile, you're going to see the Superman car, and then you're going to kind of see boxes that look a little different that say Auto Radio Commando, which just means remote controlled car, right? A radio controlled car. Now, I'm going to explain that in a minute, but I'm going to go into these first. Like I said, some of you may have seen some of these before. I'm going to try and do this. It's not easy to do. These cars are big. They are really big, and I'm going to try and do this, keep this on camera. So, first thing I'm going to show you is opening up. This is a first generation Fabian Plastica car. Well, what do I mean by that? Excellent question. I'm glad you asked. The first thing is the car is either in a Batmobile box or a Superman car box or a Spider-Man car. And I'm not sure on some of the other cars, I'll go through them in a minute, what boxes they came in. However, these were the first generation boxes. This one's got Clark Kent. This one's got the Batmobile. So the gentleman I spoke to, he's very familiar with them. And I think he said either one of two things happened. One, they lost the license to use Batman and Superman, Spider-Man, so on, which would be both Marvel and DC. And so what they had to do is they started changing the cars in the second generation. I'll explain that. Or they never had it, and they were using these likenesses, and they probably got contacted like, you can't use our shit. Remember, this is the 70s. Things were a little bit more lax than they are today. There weren't as many shitty lawyers out there. No offense if you're a lawyer, but guys fucking ruin the world. That's my philosophy. Okay. Anyway, so in the first generation box, one of the things you'll notice, or in all the boxes, I should say first, the remote control is basically this box here. They all look pretty much the same, except for the sticker on front. You can see Batman's here. He's in kind of a purple suit, and he's got all these stars on the inside of his cape, which is interesting. And then on here, there actually goes a long antenna with a spring on it. The antenna usually will get lost, or get misplaced. I don't know if this one has it particularly, but they're the same on all cars. But in the first generation boxes, the other thing you're going to notice is, and I only have one, because you see it's missing on the side, these were plastic. Okay, so they actually made these out of plastic, like, well, big deal. Well, I'm going to show you the next generation, and you're going to see they were made out of foam. And I'm not quite sure why they changed, but I got a feeling that the foam actually did a better job protecting than this crappy plastic. Now, there is a windshield. This piece just pops in. There's 4 prongs to pop this in. There's a windshield that pops into these 3 prongs. This is basically your control. This is basically the same across all cars. The stickers are pretty much in the color what make it different. The Batmobile has these wonderful... Yeah, there's no antenna here. Has these wonderful Batman logos on or similar Batman logos on the tires. This one is missing the battery cover. The battery cover just slid between these prongs. You just slide it. It takes, if I remember correctly, 6D batteries, so it gets heavy. So I'm not surprised the plastic cover came off. One of the other things that I'm really excited about these cars, and for the most part, I seem to find these with the instructions. There's another paper in one of them for like sending in a registration, but they show it the instructions. This is the early Spider-Man car. You can see it's got the Spider-Man sticker and so on. And when you open these up, I'm just going to show you because I'm not opening that. It just pulls apart, and then you put a 9-volt battery in there. Here's the antenna that just slides on to the end right here. It's interesting because on this Spider-Man car, you can see the lid's open, but you can also see the bottom is clear. Now, I don't have the Spider-Man car. I have the Black Widow car, which is the remake of the Spider-Man car. And I've never seen one with clear, so I don't know if that's a prototype or that was just a very early version. But the cars don't really do much. I mean, you press the button, and they kind of go forward, right? And they kind of turn a little bit on their own. There's not much really remote control on them. But the thing that you'll find a lot of is that you can actually fit action figures in here. You can see they go in, and you find a lot where you find Batman and Robin shoved in the Batmobile here, if you will. Hey, what's up, Harry Humstone? Are these from the 80s? No, these are from the 70s. These are from the 70s. Guess what? You're spot on about the lawyers. Well, some lawyers are good. I'm sure there's some good lawyers, but for the most part, there's a lot of schivos, and I don't want to get too political in here because we're talking toys, but one day if you want to discuss it, yeah. I have a lot of friends who are lawyers, and I tell them all the time, schivos, which in Italian basically means kind of a jerk, if you will, or not always nice, not such a nice name, not horrible, but not a nice name. Okay, so this is the Batmobile. Pay close attention. It's nice, it's in black, and so on. We're going to close this up. You see the box is all Batmobiled out, right? These slide in. Like I said, these cars are about 2 feet long. The boxes are almost 3 feet, as you can see. I want to show you the Superman car next because this is the one that's actually also seen quite a bit. And again, this is a nice, same remote control. They just changed the stickers, pops open 9-volt battery. Now this one actually has the foam, packaging, if you will, not the plastic. So I'm not quite sure when this might have come out. Superman car. It's got the Superman logo on the side, if you will. Sorry, this fucking camera's going crazy. All right, so the Superman logo on the side. Same thing with the battery compartment. You see the colors change and so on. All right, Superman all over the car. Not sure why Superman needs a car and so on. Let's keep going, shall we? So what I'm going to show you next, on the original boxes, you'll find the actual Superman logo or the Batman logo on it. Once they got out, and there's a Spider-Man car as well, and there's a Fantastic Four car. The Fantastic Four car looks nothing like this. The Spider-Man car, I'm going to show you what it looked like. The stickers will be a little different because they change it to the Black Widow later. Fantastic Four car I do not have. I have the car, but mine's now called the Tiger car. It's the 2nd edition. The Fantastic Four car I'll show you in a minute. So, if you take a look, what they wound up doing at some point is they changed the Fantastic Four car, which is neat because it's got all the Fantastic Four characters. You have a seat form with their stickers on there. Here's the remote control. This is the Hulk Jeep, if you will. I've never seen this, and all I've heard is that it's a prototype. This, I know somebody has it. This is Warrior Man. This is Starman. This is Vidova Nera, which is Black Widow. And this is the Tiger car. I'm going to show you this and this in a moment. But what's important to point out is you can see they stapled this paper to the end. If you were to lift this paper, you're going to find either the Batmobile logo or the Batmobile box, or you're going to find the Superman box underneath. If you take a look also, they have these Auto Commando like I was showing you. These Auto Commando, it looks like they were printed that way. They're not. This is actually glued down on top of, again, either the Batman. Let's see, I think this is the one. You can see it. No, that's not the one. Is it this one? One of them you could see. Here you go. It's either over the Batman box or the Superman. Yeah, it's hard to see. One of them I'll find it. But over one of those. So they started covering up the boxes. This is a glued down piece of paper. If you look carefully, there's actually a lip on some of these where you can see that was originally Superman or Batmobile. Again, whatever happened, they either lost the license, they were going to get sued, I guess. So whatever happened, they were told cease, desist, whatever it was, they couldn't do it anymore. Well, one of the things I didn't know until I got the second editions, I got this car. You can see it's in the Superman box, but the box is it's a little worn out, and it's got a lot of white on it, like the box is really beat up. Let me show you why in a moment. Let's get this open. This is the Warrior Man car, which actually is the Superman car. It even came with cardboard protectors instead of foam or plastic. There's no sticker on this one, interestingly enough. I'm not sure if they did put a sticker, but this one didn't come with it. But you can see they took the Superman car, they changed this to Warrior Man, they changed the sticker on the front. But if you were to look at the wheels carefully, you can still see it as the Superman logo. So they didn't quite do it all. I guess they were supposed to, and I guess they didn't, and said, F it, we're not doing it. The one thing about this box, I couldn't figure out why it was so beat up and the car's in such good shape. Well, the box has definitely been pushed and so on. But the reason that this box is all white like this, from what I can tell, is somebody pulled all the paper off of it. They pulled the papers off the side. That was kind of glued down or taped down, whatever it was, and they started pulling it, and I think it wore it out. So there's your Warrior Man car, which is the same as the Superman car. Once they got out of the Batmobile and they couldn't do that anymore, again, you could see there's a lip of paper here. They covered the box. Once they covered the box to see the original Batman car, so underneath, so you can even see here, they covered it. This is what came in today. This is the Starman car. Starman car was originally the Batmobile. And if you can't sell the Batmobile with Batman, who's a pretty good icon of the 70s, or Superman, well, you come up with another one. We got Starman. Here's Starman. It's actually Brian Sanchez dressed up for Halloween. They took his costume off, they went, but you can see they have Starman, again, with the instructions and so on. You can see the foam for them. This one, I believe, is the one that I have the windshield for. It's just a little plastic windshield. They get cracked, broken very easily. And here's the actual, here I can show you the antenna. This is the actual antenna. The spring, and you would just slide that onto the end. There's your antenna. Old ass remote control radio technology. Again, this was the Batmobile. It has the Batmobile stickers. So they changed the stickers on the car. They didn't change the wheels. I guess they didn't figure they needed to because it was enough of a change to not have to show. But other than that, it's the Batmobile. And they covered this up. So the Superman car, the Batmobile, and the Spider-Man car all share that same form. Obviously, Batman in black, Superman in blue. Let's take a look at one more. This actually, I didn't even know that this even existed until I just got it. It took about a month to get here from Italy. This is the Black Widow car. This also was originally the Spider-Man car. You can see it's got Spider-Man written all over it, if you will. They changed the sticker to say Black Widow. That's Black Widow in Italian. You can see the remote. And essentially, again, it's got all the papers and so on for it. Here's the book, the instruction book, how to use it. And here's actually, I guess, this is where you can mail in your registration. Yeah, in case of malfunction, please return this certificate to Fabian Plastica, Padova, Italy. I have to look up where Padova is. I'm not sure where that is. thinking, I don't know, I think it's north, but it might be in the south. But you can see that this is actually the Black Widow car. I don't know anybody else who has the Black Widow car. I know somebody or a couple people have bought the Spider-Man car, and I just missed buying one. And the Spider-Man car I've been chasing for years. Just missed one on an auction, but this one came up, and I wound up buying this and the other car. The other car I'm going to show you in a minute. I'm sorry, this and the Starman car, which is the Batman car, and so on. What is up, Buck? How are you, brother? Loomis. Dar Silicone. The man who provides the silicone for Lou's toys. That's Lou's other toll venture. Yes. Yes, Melloground Inflatables. Please donate. We're raising money for the inflatable-a-thon. We're going to build Brian Sanchez an inflatable house with an inflatable bathtub, inflatable sink, inflatable everything. He's going to live there forever. He's the inflatable king. But we need your money. We need your support. We need to help him get into his inflatable house. But I thought this was pretty cool because it's really in very good condition. I was going to show you guys the windshield. I'm not sure where it went into. I think it's down in here, and I have to pull this out. It's a little hard to do one-handed. But the windshield is just a little tiny piece of plastic. It just plugs into these three prongs. This, let's see if I can, there, you can see this. This is how this comes out. This is all this is. And then you see the three holes for the windshield, a little easier to see from this side. And then essentially you're just putting them down there. But you see there's enough space in here that if you were to put, I don't know, I guess a Mego in there, there's plenty of room. And you'll find people that are Mego collectors, if you will. And I'm talking about old Mego. Not that new shit that's out there that breaks before you even take it out of the package. But the original stuff. Yes, I'm not a big fan of new Mego. I don't think they make great products, and I don't like the people who market them because I don't feel they're honest to collectors. So that's my personal opinion. You do what you like. If you love them with all your heart. For all I care, it's fine. Again, this is the Spider-Man car, but originally and second edition changed to the Black Widow car. What I don't know is if I was to look in here, is if this is actually a Spider-Man car underneath this paper, or under here, it's glued on and stapled, or if it was a Superman car or Batman car. If it was a Spider-Man car, that would be really cool, but I don't want to take the chance of damaging it. It's in much too good a shape, and to be very honest with you, I'd have to tell you that the Black Widow car is way more rare than the Spider-Man car. I could tell you that. At least my experience, because this is the only one I've ever seen, to be honest with you. Oop, put that on, to be honest with you. I'm moving the inflatable house next door to you, Lou. Good. I hope you are moving the inflatable house. I'm going to get a bow and arrow, and I'm going to shoot I'm going to shoot the inflatable stuff. All right, let me show you guys the Tiger car. I'm going to have to put this down for a minute so I can do this without destroying everything and all falling apart. Let me get you guys the Tiger car so you can see it, because the Tiger car was also the Fantastic Four car. I don't have the Fantastic Four car, and to be very honest with you, calling it the Tiger car is pretty bad. It's pretty much of a reach. It would be interesting, though, again, to find out if this is actually a Fantastic Four box, if you will. Look at that. Nope. So here, I'll show you guys. So it's kind of peeling up from the dry glue right there. It's a Batmobile box. It'd be neat if it was Fantastic Four. I guess when you're going to cover in paper, it doesn't matter what box it is anymore, right? Then we don't care because we don't have to worry about it. All right, I'm going to move this over in a second. This car is a completely different style than the other ones. I'm going to show it to you so you guys can see a little better here. This is the Tiger car. I'm not quite sure. The Tiger car, it looks like the Exxon car to me. Maybe it's Exxon, if you will. But if you were to look at the Fantastic Four car, it's Reed Richards, Invisible Girl, and Johnny Storm on there. Human Torch have their face on them, and then they have the Thing on the front. Well, you could tell it was made for the Thing. It's got the yellowish-orange color, whatever he is, and then it looks like rocks. Changing this to Tiger car, I think they could have come up with a better name than that. I mean, Rockmobile would have been fine, or whatever, but Tiger car doesn't even have stripes, so that's a little weird to me. El Tigre, very good, Buck. El Tigre, very good. Or I think it's La Tigre in Italian. But it's a completely different style of car. It's kind of cool. I mean, for a Fantastic Four car, let me get this out without like destroying the whole thing. There we go. For a Fantastic Four car, I think it's cool. It's kind of almost a little bit like the nothing like the Fantastic Four. There's the battery cover for you guys. There's the antenna in the book. This one does not have the dashboard like the other one, so you can see these are the dashboards. The best part is this. This is what I love when you get things from other countries and they don't know your language well enough. So it's either is this Control L or Control, they put two L's on it because they don't know English, right? And then you got your numbers. So I think it's pretty cool. So the idea here supposedly is you can put, I think you can put two people in, or maybe one here, and one here, or maybe four. I don't know. Regardless, it's a completely different style of car than the other ones. And it's cool. I don't like the Tiger car. If anybody really wants one, you don't give a shit about the remote control. There's a guy in Italy who has this, just the car like this. No parts, no remote, nothing, from Italy. And I think he only wants, I forget what he wants for it, maybe 40 euros or something. It's been up there for quite some time. To be honest with you, I'm not going to even show you guys a remote control function on this because it sucks. And this foam is not even made for the car. You can see it was made for the Batmobile and so on, the way it's put in. Yeah, but the remote control function sucks. It literally, you press the button, one button, car goes forward, and it kind of does a little bit of turning on its own. You can't even control it. But I thought that was a pretty cool thing. So now, what are we looking for based on all this? Well, I really would love to get the Fantastic Four car. I'd love to get the Spider-Man car, and I'd love to get the Hulk Jeep if that was even made. Somebody said, oh, it's only a prototype. You don't know until you know, right? And that's all there is to it. They do come out of Italy. That makes it a bit of a challenge to find. You do see them in Europe. They do pop up on eBay. The Batmobile and the Superman car, you'll find them floating around on a few websites. I think Last Dodo has one. A few other places you can Google for them and you'll find them. Fabian, just like the name, plastic with an A on the end. And but they would be great. If I find those three, collection complete, it'd be pretty sweet. But again, at this point, I'd probably settle for the Spider-Man car and the Fantastic Four car. And if the Hulk is a completely different thing. You can see it's like a Jeep. It's even got a net on the back, which is pretty neat. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, a lot of fun. So this is the collection. Originally I had one, and then I got two. Got the Superman car, then I got the Batmobile, and then they started popping up. When I found the Warrior Man, I bought that in a heartbeat. The Starman. So the Tiger car came next, and the Warrior Man bought the Starman. Now I've got the, like I said, I've got the Black Widow and the Starman, and just awesome. The problem with these things, they're friggin' big. They're a pain in the ass to find room for. If you want to display them, that's great. But you can see is like what's going on here. There's not a whole lot of room to do for them. So what I am actually working on is, again, behind me, getting rid of the chairs behind me. That's going to be something that I'm trying to get done in the next probably 2 weeks. I have some shelves coming in for display with some lights. What I'd like to do is get those up and get some low shelves in, and maybe that's where these remote control cars will go. But here you go. This is what I was going to show you. You can see all they did for this Tiger car. They put it in a Batmobile box. That's it. So the guy said to me that once they got to the end of this licensing thing, or getting, I can't remember if he said they had the license and they lost it, or they were just using it without permission, then they just started box them up and change the names and off you go. That's why they have these on the end. It is interesting though, because the Black Widow, that's here. I don't know if they're referring to the Black Widow from Marvel, or they just picked a generic name because it was Spider-Man. So, oh, let's put a Black Widow, because they still have the Hulk and the Fantastic Four car on that sheet. So who knows? But there you have it. I don't know if anybody else collects these cars. Do any of you guys collect these things? Does anybody own any of these things? That would be kind of cool if anybody did. I don't know a lot of people that have them, or a lot of people who collect them. They're not exactly the cheapest things to get, and they're a real pain in the ass. They're sometimes very, very difficult to come across. eBay has them once in a while. They've been on a few other sites and so on. But if you collect them, or you have an interest in them, or you have some you want to sell, don't hesitate to reach out. I'd be happy to take a look, even if they're not in the box. Just to have the Spider-Man car, even without the remote control, as much as I'd rather have it with it in the box, would be great. It would still be pretty cool. I think they're pretty neat. So let me know in the comments if you collect any of them. Let me know in the comments if you think Brian Sanchez should live in an inflatable house. This is an important question, the most important question of the whole video. Should Brian Sanchez live in an inflatable house? With an inflatable bathtub, inflatable chairs. He'd be like an old Barbie doll. eBay has the it's on the Superman car is on eBay now. I think I saw that, Brian. How much is it going for? If you don't mind me asking, do you see it? Thing ring, do your thing. That's right. That's right, Buck. Thing ring. The El Melograno mobile. You know, I might have to make a custom. I'll buy that crappy Tiger car. We'll call it the El Melograno mobile. The Boulder mobile. There you go, Buck. The Boulder mobile's great. Yeah, let's see. Wonder if you could write and still register. You know, Buck, it's really funny. Do you ever think about that when you find things like in old toys, like old Mattel stuff, or toy companies that don't exist? Obviously, it's not going to work. But sometimes it's even funny to like take their address and Google it and see what the building looks like now. I remember the old what are those models? Adder models were based out of Brooklyn, New York. And I actually Googled up Street View on it, and you could see there's a sign above the door. It says office. They're not there anymore, but it's pretty neat to see that kind of stuff. But I don't know if these guys are in business. I actually am going to do some more research, and I was trying to get it done before today, and it just didn't happen. I got so excited to get these two cars in today, the Black Widow and the Starman. That I'm like, let me just go show this because I've been dying to do it, and I had to get them through a. Yes, I had to get them. They wanted signatures. They didn't deliver them, so I had to go to the post office. It was a nightmare. I wanted the back car, but too rich for this poor boy. Over 200. Wow. $73 for shipping. Christ. I mean, they're big. Don't get me wrong. They're big. Berto went to Mego headquarters. Oh, he did. Yes, so did John Bonavita, didn't he? Didn't John Bonavita get chased out when it was closed? He jumped the fence and he took pictures and they chased him out, which is kind of funny. It's in New York. That's fucking typical for there, so. No offense to any New Yorkers, but it's not like they're all so welcoming when you get near the city, Long Island kind of shit. They sometimes are a little rough. Yeah, but wow, 200 for that stuff. My God, plus 70, so it's basically $300. Well, I'm going to tell you, I paid out the ass for these two cars because I've never seen them before, and because I want them, and I just won't eat for the next month. But to have them, to have such an old piece of history. This paper kind of sucks that they put on here, because it covers up. But if they're all Batmobile or Superman anyway, not a big deal. Somebody did buy the Spider-Man car in Japan, I think 2 months ago. They got it, and I think they got it for a really good price. So they're out there. You got to find them. You got to look. Be the right place at the right time. These I just happen to come across. But it is Fabian Plastica. If you are interested, or if it's something that you're looking for, you might be, let me know, because I do Google them a lot. And if you're like, hey, I'm really looking for them, if I find some of the ones that, I'm not looking to get, but they're there, I'll be happy to notify and let you know if you want. All right. I think that's it. I think we're going to conclude this for this evening. I would like to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Sanchez's Sausages. They're pickled and they're pickled, you're tickled. So there you go, Sanchez Sausages. Sausage King of Chicago, Brian Sanchez. But no, in all seriousness, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. And let me know if you have any questions. Bye.